Hi, this is Jason K4APR, and in this video, I just want to show a project that I've been working off and on with for the last few months when I have time. So this is a standard plastic ammo can you can actually buy from Harbor Freight for about, I don't know, $10 or $12 when they're, maybe even less when they're on sale. But anyways, it's a standard plastic ammo can, and when I open it up, what you have inside here is what I'm calling my portable packet test unit. And this is pretty much all custom that I designed, various parts and pieces. But what the general gist of it is that there's a single Yaesu. This is an FTM. Oh, I forgot the model now. It's a dual band. They actually, I believe, just stopped making this radio. But you could pick these up for like less than $300. It's a full VHF, UHF dual band radio. And it's a remote head. So the main body is actually mounted at the bottom of the case here. There's screws here and screws on your side with some 3D printed brackets I made just to hold it in place. And then the remote head, there's a 3D printed bracket I designed to hold this head to the underside of this panel. These 4 screws here are what hold that in. And then moving down, there's 2 TNCs. These are actually a surface mount version of the Nino TNC, but this is actually a special version that I've designed specifically for this project. And what's most unique about them is that they have the extra LED here, bicolor LED, to show USB activity, as well as instead of the standard dip switches for setting the modes, those are brought out to a header, and that header is used to interface to this 16 position hex rotary switch. And this hex rotary switch is actually what selects the mode. So instead of the traditional dip switches of on or off to set the mode, instead you would set the mode based on the mode number or letter, since it's in hex. So I'm gonna just plug in one of the TNCs here, and you'll see you get the LED flash. And then if you change mode, you'll see that the LEDs flash to indicate that it's changing mode. And both of these TNCs are set up identically. And of course the USB interface is broken out here, so it's easy to connect either 2 computers or connect them both to a single computer or Raspberry Pi or whatever you're using. And then in between is this TNC select switch, which allows you to, right now in the center, that means that neither TNC are connected to the radio. But if I switch to either side, that selects the TNC on either side and interfaces it to the radio. So that allows me to set 2 different modes and then be able to just switch back and forth as I need to. Another feature of this box is this USB-C port right here. This is another custom board that I designed to interface to the back of the Yaesu. Now the Yaesu has a Mini DIN 10 connector, and that connector is for interfacing to a TNC or some kind of external device, but it also has RS-232 available on that port, so you can program the radio. That Mini DIN 10 plugs into my board, and then my board breaks it out to a Mini DIN 6 for the packet connection, and it also has this USB-C that goes to an FTDI controller. So now I have a USB programming interface for this radio. It's using RS-232 from that back, but this is a true USB serial port, and that allows me to program the radio without having to pull the radio out of the box. A couple other things. Brought the RF connector from the radio out to the front panel so I can get to it very easily. One of my things is every radio I have I convert to N. So I've already converted the radio to N, and then I use the jumper to come back to this N chassis mount connector. And then the last thing are these auxiliary power pole ports that I've added. These are another custom little board that I designed to make this easy to install in this box. And this is simply here strictly so I just have some external power from whatever source of power I'm powering the box. If I need to power anything else, like a Raspberry Pi or something, I could use this for. And then this extra compartment right here is actually meant for a battery that I have, but the battery was dead. I'm charging it right now. So right now I'm just connected to external power, external DC power to power the box up. All right, let me unplug this. And I want to show you a few details on some of these custom boards. So, let me grab my chair. So first and foremost, this is the special edition of the Nino TNC I designed. There's actually three features about this that are slightly different from the standard Surface mount. Went to a USB-C connector from the USB-B, standard B connector. Right here is the header, or where the header would go for the mode selection. Now, there's also this footprint allows for a standard hex rotary switch that can be installed and can be accessed from the front. And that's great if you're just using it as a standalone device. But I wanted to be able to have a nice panel control, so that's why I left that off and instead just installed headers here to connect to that rotary switch. And then the LEDs I mentioned, the extra LED to the far left there, just below the test button, that's a bicolor LED that shows transmit receive of the USB port. And speaking of the rotary switch, this is another. So this is the rotary switch that I'm using right here. It's a 16 position hex the binary switch. And then this is a little interface board. A very simple breakout interface board I designed for it, so that I could use this thing. This is meant to be PCB mounted. This made it very easy to make a panel mountable with a breakout, and use this 5-pin header to connect to the TNC through a little ribbon cable. So there's that. Here's the that breakout board for the Yaesu. You can see that there's a Mini DIN 10 on the right, so I just use a Mini DIN 10 to 10 jumper from the radio to that. And then there's the Mini DIN 6, which breaks out the standard pinout for TNC for packet. And then there's the FTDI controller on there that allows us to have an actual USB interface to program the radio. So, and then gives us a little more modern interface. This is the TNC switch that I designed to switch between the two TNCs. So this is a center off. This is actually a 4-pole double throw switch with center off. On the back, you have the mini DIN ports. You've got the common port as well as the two for the two TNCs. You can also use this in reverse. You could have one TNC connected and two radios connected, so you would be able to switch between two different radios using a single TNC. So this is universally capable of doing either or. Two TNCs and a single radio, or a single TNC and two radios. And then you see there's some jumpers on there that allow you to select if you're using the 1200 or 9600 baud receive pin on each one of those ports. And then lastly, here's that power pole little board that I designed that has the fuse holder built in. In my setup, I'm soldering. I have some heavier gauge wire soldered to these pads that are going to another breakout underneath that allows me to split that single power input to all the different devices, these two ports as well as the radio. This is a little 3D printed test that I made before I printed the actual panel, and you can see how this fits in there, and then 4 screws hold it in, and then that's what it looks like from the top side, as you saw in the actual box itself. The fuse is a little recessed, so you can't get to it with your fingers, but I found that it's not a real big deal. Just use a pair of needle nose pliers. I know that's a little more of a pain in the field, but to be nice and compact, it's not really a problem for me. just I use a pair of needle nose pliers and I can get them out. I even have little pliers on my Swiss Army knife that I carry in my pocket that I can get that out if I have to. So it's not really a big deal for me. So anyways, okay, this video has gone on long enough. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.